I've not used this before, so I'm just trying it out.
Like the old times, we'll hit pause and then hit a rewind. You wanna come over, just like the old days, and we'll watch the time just fly. Hey buddy, no strangers here. These times I hold them dear. My door's open, so come on in. This was great, let's do it again. Like the old days, and we'll watch the time just fly. Do you wanna come over? Just like the old times, we'll hit pause and then hit rewind. You wanna come over? Just like the old days, and we'll watch the time just fly.
Yo, Joe, and full force. We are right today for the very first time doing an episode that we have called a real G.I. Joe show. So about, over a decade now, my old friend Tom and I did a review called O Ring a Bell, and we did a review on the Ninja Shabang, or TJ Bang as I call him. Don't look it up. It's no good. It's not a great review. It's one of those things where if you find it, I will refuse to acknowledge it. I don't know why I brought it up, to be honest. Now, this show, O Ring a Bell, is going to ask the question, does this G.I. Joe mean anything to you? And not to me, but to my buddy, TheRetroTinker. Fellow Aussie, Nate, how are you, buddy?
I am very hot, thank you very much.
Now, you know some things about G.I. Joe, but there are some gaps in your knowledge as far as the Joes are concerned. Is that accurate?
Yeah. I haven't quite gone on a deep dive on the Joes yet. I've got some in my collection, but yeah, I've just been grabbing things as I see them, not specifically going, I'm going to go and get all the G.I. Joes now. So
right.
I'm very much a generalist. So yeah, I am here to learn. I've been told that the traditional gift for a teacher is an apple, but have you priced these things lately? No, thank you.
Technology is. I'm less than Space Command as far as technology is concerned. But this is not going to be a test. It is not going to be how much do you know. We're going to learn as we go. We're going to spotlight Recondo today, and I've got a reason for Recondo. I guess a lot of people would have thought that I'd launch with Sergeant Slaughter, and he is coming. But I have a reason for Recondo today, and that is because I had a misconception for Recondo when I was younger, which later on in life was corrected for me. And it would be interesting to hear your perspective as someone that doesn't really know a lot about every character with G.I. Joe, and that'll be part of it. Like, we're going to learn. Knowing is half the battle. So by the end of it, we'll be asking ourselves, do we know? Does this now ring a bell? So we'll say very quickly hi to the chat. It's great to have some people pop in. I know that this is a time zone that doesn't suit everybody, but we've got TJC, Morning Legends, right back at you, my friend. I was hanging out with Jim Largo and Will today over at Largo's Lair. That video is going to premiere tomorrow for me, tomorrow morning. Check your local times for your local times, I guess. But check that out. We're talking about music on Largo's Lair. Planet Decepticonicus, yo Joe, thanks for being here, buddy. I just found this channel and I am enjoying it thoroughly, so do go check him out as well. Our good buddy Phil, hey guys, watching as I pack my bags. I hope you have had a great trip, my friend. And that means that we are now ready to get into the show. So before we do this deep dive into Recondo, I do want to shout out 3D Joes. Check them out. The best place for your G.I. Joe pictures and info. Link is in the description. Link to Nate is also in the description. If you have not subscribed to Nate, please do so. Don't wait. Do it now. We can be patient while you do that. Great channel. Magic and comedy and genius comes from the Retro Tinker. So please check that out. Jewel Who 9, the best of the Jewel Who's. They got it. They perfected it by number 9. Get rid of the rest. 1 through 8. We don't need you. We've got the best one right here. So what do you know, if anything, about Recondo?
That his name is apparently Recondo.
I would say
I guess
it's not apparent.
Go ahead.
So yes, you're right. So far, so good. His name is Recondo. We're looking at the if you get dizzy, let me know and I'll slow him down. But for me, now looking at Recondo as he is right now, where would you say he is from?
Well, he's got the slouch hat, so he's obviously Australian.
Right?
And with that mustache, I assume that Rekondo's just a nickname. I assume he actually has a name like Nigel.
Yeah. Or Nudge.
I'm Nigel Smith, and his friends call him Nigel Smithy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you would assume that he's Australian or like a African big game hunter.
Right. So when I was a kid, I always assumed Recondo was an Aussie. And I wonder how they would shorten his name. Aussie slang, would it be Condo? Condo. But believe it or not, he is not Australian. So I'm going to figure out how to get to my other screen so I can scroll down. Recondo, great character. So he includes a cross-country backpack, not to be confused with the G.I. Joe known as cross-country, and an M1 4E2X rifle. Now, I know nothing about firearms. Do you know what an M1 4E2X rifle is?
No, but that one looks like it's held together with sticky tape, so I wouldn't fire it.
Well, it's got a wrap around it, which I think is actually pretty cool. I'm going to look up 4E2X X rifle, see what comes up, see if it's a real thing. What do we got? Rifle. It's probably so old that Google doesn't even know what it is. So the M1 rifle is a semi-automatic rifle that was the service rifle of the U.S. Army during World War II and the Korean War. That's just what Google has told me from my very first Google search. Please do your own fact-checking, as I could be wrong. So let's go down and have a quick look at Recondo. Very cool. What are your initial thoughts on just the look of the character?
I think he looks great. Like as a kid, he would definitely be a front runner. Like if I saw him on the pegs, I'm like, that's the guy. He's got the camo pants.
Yeah.
He looks like he means business, and as you said, he looks like he should be an Australian. So I think, he's a very good-looking figure.
And such a handsome man. Planet Decepticonicus says, great sculpting on Recondo, even on his rifle and backpack. Yeah, he's got the best of both worlds. His accessories are greatly sculpted, and his appearance also very great. You can't see his legs. I know, that's the problem. Where are his legs? Hello, Facebook user. I'm going to assume that you're some Hasbro executive coming to tune in and check us out. We appreciate you having here. If you're not a Hasbro executive, please just shout it out in the chat who you are so we can say hello properly. And Jimbo says, Recondo has the best mustache of all the Joes. I agree. However, there are a lot of great mustaches when it comes to G.I. Joe. You've got Sergeant Slaughter, obviously.
Yeah.
You've got Bazooka. Name a Joe that doesn't have a mustache would be a harder game, you know?
Yeah. And they're all those wonderfully typical 80s mustaches. Like his is the only one that I've seen that's it's a very British style,
right?
Old school. I'm a 1920s boxer kind of mustache. Most of them are just very obviously guys from around the office They've seen like, that's the mustache. That's the one I want.
That's it. I mean, it takes a lot of effort to curl a mustache, but it would have been better if he only curled the half that his hat was curled up.
Yeah.
The slouch mustache. So he comes
the slouch stash.
a slouch stash. I think if I hover over, oops, I pressed the wrong button. Excuse me. Hold on. I think if I hover over, it'll tell us. Oh, here we go. Many color and thickness, giggity, variations have been found on Recondo's camouflage legs. This camo color, so forth and so on. Anyway, I'll figure out how to get to the.
I want to see the thick one. I want to see Recondo with cake.
Right? Oh, Cake Condo. Recondo. Anyway, so there's 4 different styles of camouflage there. See if I can get it to expand. Expand, please. Is it expanding?
The camouflage on the lower half, so he's only a semi-stealthy boy.
Right. So, I mean, some of it looks more brown than green. Is that showing up in your screen?
Yep.
Perfect. I'm still technology. Oh, gosh. Now what have I done? How do I get out of here? How do I get out? There we are. So he has 4. I don't really have a preference on which one is the best, but I would say it's a tie between maybe 1 and 3.
Yeah, I'd say for me personally, it'd be like 2 and 3. The lines are just a bit fatter there.
Yeah, we like a thick line.
Yeah.
Can I get out of here? There we are. So scrolling down, let's figure out where this guy's from. Now, I want to say first and foremost, it can't really be first and foremost because we've already gone through so much of the stream already. But next in line and 5 most, he's counting 5. Good. He's a jungle trooper. Now, Recondo, that card art is exceptional.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really some of the best artwork, and G.I. Joe had exceptional artwork anyway. It's hard to pick a bad one. What's really a bad one?
Yeah, but that's a fantastic representation. Like, see, it's got the wrapping on that's sculpted on the gun and everything. Just it's phenomenal.
So, but I think part of the reason why I thought Recondo was an Aussie was because there was an Aussie comic. I think it only had 4 issues. I've got 4 issues. If there's any more than that, who knows? But the beginning of it was introduced by a G.I. Joe called Digger, and Digger was essentially Recondo. So they renamed Recondo Digger and made him an Australian. And I'm sure Action Force must have had him as an Australian because they changed up the location, the birth place of birth for a lot of the G.I. Joe crossover into Action Force. Yep. So I would not be surprised if Recondo was Australian in Action Force as well. If anyone knows any different, again, let me know. I guess I could Google that too. So according to this, let's find out where our jungle trooper. I thought it was. They ended up changing it later on, where they made the name the bigger typeface and the description the smaller typeface. But here it's jungle trooper, bold, codename Recondo, which again is a pretty awesome name. But let's find out where Recondo is from. You want to hazard a guess now that you know that he's not Australian?
Is he South African?
Well, that would be another cool guess. But no, he is from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's from the north. He's from Wisconsin.
Yeah, perfect. So file name Daniel M. Leclerc. He's infantry and intelligence. Recondo hates the cold. Well, that makes sense. He loves hauling a rucksack through the bush and sweating through his camis. I'll sweat through my camis too, but it's only because I'm overweight. When he's in the jungle, he owns it. Anybody else is trespassing. Cadre member at Jungle Warfare Training Center, qualified expert, M16, Swedish K, grease gun. Does a grease gun squirt grease? That's a good question. M19 11A1 auto pistol, M79 grenade launcher. This guy comes with none of that. He comes with one gun. A jungle, he says, is like some single, gigantic, hostile organism. It can sense when you fear or hate it, and it's wholly without mercy. When Recondo steps into a jungle, it sings to him, mother soothing a troubled child. So there you go.
Nonsense.
So apparently, according to this, the name of Daniel M. Leclerc does not identify any known living person. So don't get it confused with any other Daniel M. Leclerc that you may know.
Okay.
So when Recondo came out, he was also we've got and here they've got the not the names necessarily, but what they do. So they've got Breaker at the top there as communications officer, machine gunner, rock and roll, infantry trooper would be Grunt, the mortar soldier. I'm trying to remember who the mortar soldier was. Which one was the mortar soldier? Was that wasn't Zap? That would be tell me who was the mortar? A jungle trooper from Wisconsin, a very cold climate during winter months in the States. Wow. Should have been from a southern state. Maybe that's why he got out of there. Madagascar, good guess. Zing. So who is the mortar launcher guy again? I'm forgetting his name.
I have no idea.
Next to that is see that's why it does not ring a bell. I know it's gonna bug me until I figure that out. Next to him is Spirit, Snake Eyes, Airborne, and a whole list of other Joes that we will eventually go through. So what do you think of the large line and backstory of Recondo?
I think it's other than the fact that he's from Wisconsin, I think it's a good enough. It's a great story. It's a bit strange that the jungle whispers to him. I don't think I'd be quite comfortable with him at my side, hearing voices.
Yeah, when you think about whispering jungles, that sounds like a innuendo. But when you also think of a whispering jungle, I guess Predator comes to mind.
Yeah.
And there as Short Fuse, yeah. I reckon it's Short Fuse, the mortar guy. Thank you very much. But when after Predator came out, and later iterations of Recondo looked a lot like Ventura's character, Jesse Ventura's character from Predator. Have you seen Predator?
Yes.
Right. So Jesse Ventura's character in Predator, his later action figures actually look a lot like him, and I can see that.
Yeah.
Predator, great movie. A lot of people say, "Oh, it makes a really great G.I. Joe movie." It's like, yeah, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah. Crossover.
So the camo fatigues, the shoulder holster, the manly facial hair. Recondo most reminds me of the classic Adventure Team Joes from the 70s. Yep. He would fit right in with those 70s styles.
Yeah.
So Ron Rudat, do you know who Ron Rudat is?
Yeah, he was one of the sculptors, wasn't he?
Yeah, like he was a designer. He did a lot of the art design for them.
One figure designed after him, and I'm blanking on the name.
Yeah. Oh, Ron Rudat, Leatherneck.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Well, Leatherneck. Oh wait, Leatherneck looks like Ron Rudat, but Dusty is named after Ron Rudat, if I recall correctly. But Ron Rudat has said that he actually modeled the design after the Australians, and he wanted. He was on the show maybe over a year ago now, but I did ask him about Recondo, and he said, yeah, he intended it to be Australian, and then you pass it on to somebody else who does the file cards. In this case, probably Larry Harmer decided he wasn't going to be Australian, but he definitely has that Aussie look.
Yeah.
Leatherneck, another great mustache. I agree. Even Rock Vipers. Are Rock Vipers that have the mustache as well? Rock something. You gotta have a cool mustache in GI Joe.
Yeah.
But he was I think that his weapon looks cool. I think his backpack is appropriate.
Yeah, that's the thing that always, like, the few accessories I actually do have for my Joe figures is like the amount of tiny detail they get and things like the backpacks and the guns, and it's phenomenal.
So if you could add, here we are. Here comes Phil. Every Rock Viper gets issued a Mo. Is it standard issue mustache?
And just slap it on. Just
maybe it's attached to the helmet, like like those glasses that have the mustache force. So if there were any accessory that you would want to add to Recondo, what do you think it would be?
I reckon he needs like a great big hunting knife.
Right. Yes.
A machete, because he's a jungle boy.
Machete, for sure. Yeah. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. I'm going to find, if I can, I'm going to do my best to find, if I can find it, his second version. One moment, please. Let me see if I can get on here and find. Can you see that one?
Yes.
You're on the screen? Okay, I'm going to find his next version of Recondo, which was in Tiger Force. But I don't have a mouse, and so this is very difficult. Maybe if I just type up Recondo at the top here. Let's do that. Thank you for this option to do so, 3D Joes.
Actually, he could have also come with like a puma or something like that is tamed.
Oh yes, absolutely. A pet croc is an option. I agree. Starch Vipers, yeah. So this is Recondo version 2 for Tiger Force.
Do
you have a preference out of the two?
Definitely the first one. This one,
yeah,
it's a weird choice of colors, like the navy blue, then green with bright yellow stripes. I guess the stripes are for Tiger Force, but like,
yeah,
you could have gone with like the whole thing green with yellow stripe or something.
He'd look a bit too much like Battle Cat.
Yeah,
if he was full green and yellow stripes.
Put a saddle on.
Put a saddle on. He needs to come with a saddle.
He runs away from Prince Adam when he points the sword.
Wow! Oh, change his codename to Recondo. So this version 2 comes with the same accessories that version 1 did in different colors. So the gun's down black, backpack in green. But he didn't come with any more accessories or a animal companion, but he did come with Tiger Fly.
Yeah, okay.
Which is the Tiger Force version of the Dragonfly, right?
Yeah.
So I'll go down to his.
I wouldn't have cared what it looks like if it came with a helicopter.
Right. Yeah. I think I don't know why they didn't use Wild Bill, who was the original pilot for the Dragonfly, but they did. It does look similar to the Wild Bill art. So here, his military specialty is now Tiger Fly pilot. He's still from Wheaton, Wisconsin, but now his bio reads, Recondo has been flying prop jets and helicopters since he was 17 years old. Naturally, when he enlisted in the Army, he immediately put in for helicopter training. Recondo served for the 7th Airborne Assault Unit when it's... I'm going to go to my other screen because I'm not wearing my glasses. One moment, please. Recondo served with the 7th Airborne Assault Unit when it put down an uprising on a small Caribbean nation, or Caribbean, depending on your pronunciation. I wonder if Hans knows anything about that then. He's in the Caribbean, right? His greatest achievement was when he launched a bold and highly successful counterattack against an entire enemy brigade. At the end of his tour, Recondo attended flight school for advanced training and now leads the Tiger Force Aerial Reconnaissance Unit, That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then the bio at the bottom says, I sure thought we were history that day, as in, I guess he thought we wasn't going to make it out. The enemy was everywhere, and we were running out of ammo fast. Then, before anybody knew what was what, Recondo hopped into an Apache and took off to launch his own counterattack. The man was crazy, but if it wasn't for his courage, I wouldn't be telling the story today. Thank you for you. As you can see,
E-Man pointed his sword at him.
Yeah, exactly. And as you can see, he is very similar in the style of Wild Bill.
Yeah, it's almost exactly the same picture, but with a mustache.
I wonder if that could rotate any faster than that. Slow down, boys. So that's the rest of Tiger Force. A couple of cool mustache in there.
Yeah.
One beard. You can only afford one. You can only afford one beard. Pretty fly for a Tiger guy. Worst color combos of any Joe unit. Like I see what you mean, but I kind of prefer for the reasons I just said of the Battle Cat. I kind of prefer the green and yellow camo over brown and yellow or whatever is happening over there.
Like, put up with the rest of them, he doesn't look too bad. I think like I'm guessing it's the guy's gimmick. This is the one guy who's got a football jersey on.
Yeah.
He's probably.
Do you know who the guy? Do you know who the guy in the football jersey is?
Nope, that does not ring a bell.
Perfect. Doesn't that ring a bell? Excellent. So we'll definitely touch on Recondo, not Recondo, that character at a later date. G'day from Sunny Sundries.
Is it Tom Selleck in The Longest Yard?
I don't want to give it away. So Planet Decepticonica says, I know they aren't popular with everyone, but I enjoyed Tiger Force figures. The Euro versions were amazing. Tiger Force Outback was the coolest. Now, we are going to do Outback eventually. Can you guess where Outback is from?
Australia.
No. It's another odd one where you think, oh, man, is this going to be another Aussie? No. Will we find an Aussie Joe? Maybe that's
Outback. So that's what we
right. Why wouldn't Outback be an Aussie? So I think in this adventure that we're going on for O Ring a Bell, I think what will happen is we will end up going on an adventure to find out, are there any Aussie GI Joes? Right. I think that, you know, when you look at Action Force, I probably tucked a few in there, and we'll ask Space Commander if in actual fact they did transfer any to be Australian when it came to the Action Force repaints. So I don't know if you know this, maybe I'm confusing you with this statement, but Action Force was around before G.I. Joe, and they were 5 points of articulation figures.
Yeah.
That then took on G.I. Joe characters and molds and stuff, but sort of either renamed them or gave them different backstories and stuff.
Yeah.
So there may be some Aussies tucked in there somewhere that I'm not familiar with.
Yeah.
But
if failing that, are there any Kiwis? Because we could just steal them.
And we are known to do that. Like, we have already stolen one cool Kiwi.
Yes, that guy.
But it is a very Australian thing to do, is to bring Kiwis over here to get famous, claim them as our own, and then deny the fact that they were ever from New Zealand. And that's not because we don't love New Zealand. It's because we love them so much. We want them.
Yes.
Like I can name at least 2 famous Kiwis that we claim as Australians. Number 1 is Phil from Treasures for Trigger, and 2, most of Split Ends / Crowded House.
Yeah, you know, we're all actually chipping in to hire a team of Navy SEALs to throw Phil into a sack and drag him back to Australia, kicking and screaming.
Right. Has Phil ever been to Australia? Phil, shout it out loud if you've ever been to Australia, and if not, how are we going to fix that? How are we going to fix it? But I think we found a new mission statement, and that is to find ourselves, get an Aussie GI Joe. So far, we haven't been successful in Recondo. Outback that's going to be an interesting deep dive because there are so many cool characters when it comes to Outback. But that was our look at Recondo. So, what do you reckon? Do you reckon you would have picked up Recondo back in the day?
Absolutely, I would have. Like,
Would you have? Oh gosh, you guys can have Russell Crowe.
do we have to?
Do we? Oh, he's been there a few times. Not bad. All right. Okay. We'll twist his arm and get him back again.
Yep.
So the next episode is going to be a deep dive into Sergeant Slaughter, and there are at least 4 versions that we're going to be looking at for Sarge, and then after that, we'll see who else we come up with. But I think for Recondo, we've decided version 1 was the best version. As far as combination of colors is concerned.
Yeah.
But that helicopter almost tipped it over.
If the helicopter came with any figure, I wouldn't have cared. It was just, I would have been very happy with the helicopter.
Surely in Action Force, Outback was from the Outback. Good question. You know what I will do? I'm going to look up a picture of Digger for you. All right, G.I. Joe Digger. And tell me if you can find. Oh, you know what? That reminds me. Back over a decade ago, I did what was considered the WA JoeCon exclusive of solo myself. So I actually, my buddy Tom, who I was talking about, that we did a video together decades ago, he came up with the card for it. So it's a real Australian hero. And he's changed the weapon layout. And I painted a combination of both regular Recondos and Tiger Force Recondos to make Digger. So that's pretty cool. I found that in Google. Well done. He's definitely Australian, this version.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I painted that up. Thanks. And that is the Aussie G.I. Joe. Oh, gosh. How's that looking?
Yeah, I can see that. Yep.
G.I. Joe Australia, that is our boy Digger. Now, that would have been in a world that... Oh, God, I'm still on solo. Remove from exit solid. Whoop. So, in a world of easy repaints, not coming up with a repaint as an Aussie called Digger blows my mind.
Yeah.
My Outback was from Australia. I couldn't read the file cards. Readings for wimps.
Yeah. No.
We need an Aussie Joe with a deadly drop bear companion. I don't disagree with you.
They can't be tamed, though.
There was a repaint of Big Boa called Kangor, and he came with a kangaroo. Do you know who Big Boa is?
Is he the one with the boxing glove? No.
He sure is. That one rings a bell.
Yeah, that one does, because I've got him somewhere.
All right, I'm going to look up Action Force Recondo and see whether or not the Action Force version. You can see I'm using my phone to do this because I can't figure out this bloody laptop. Action Force Recondo does. The figure with, okay, so there was Action Force Silent Attack. I'm looking at yojoe.com at the moment. And the Silent Attack came with, it's this thing. What am I doing? It came with a version of Recondo, but was it a different file card for him? Oh, Australian Jungle. Oh, no, that'll just be... You know what? This is a question for Space Commander. He can let us know in a future episode whether or not Recondo... That'll be... We're gonna reach out to Space Commander and say, Space Commander, which ones were Australian? And was Recondo one of them? Unless anyone in the chat honestly knows, I'd be hesitant to jump onto Google and do all my research right now. Why didn't I look it up before? Don't worry about it. And we're Aussies. We're no. If we can get away with not doing any work, then we won't.
Damn straight.
So, what have you got coming up, Nate, that we can catch you on?
Nothing in the immediate future. I'm sort of in between jobs. It's been way too hot to work on anything. But yeah, I've got endless projects lined up. So I'm just going to pick something that's probably not going to take too much work, and I'll get a video out probably sometime in the next 2 or 3 weeks, maybe.
Well, if you haven't already subscribed to Nate, the Retro Tinker, please do. It's some hilarious stuff. It's one of my favorite channels. Nate is fast becoming one of my favorite people. So if you're here for any reason, you should definitely be over there more so. It's great content. Loved hanging out with you. Next time we're going to do Sergeant Slaughter. We'll see how much of a deep dive we can go into there. See how much you know about the Sarge. And with that, I guess we'll call it a day. Give it a yo, Joe.
Yo, Joe.
And do you think now Recondo would ring a bell with you?
Yes. And now I know.
Because knowing is half the battle.
Space Commando.
Knowing is half the battle. Thanks, Space Commando, for that. And thank you, Nate, for being my guest. We're going to do these fast and free for these episodes so we can get through all the G.I. Joes that we can get to. If you do have any suggestions in the chat, we'd love to also hear that. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Do Sarge often? Not as often as I'd like. I'd love to see the new G.I. Joe cartoon with new characters and them to be all over the world. Yep, I disagree with that. In fact, I'm a big fan of international heroes. And Phil's got a few Joes and Motus for you to work on, Nate, coming your way. So there we are. Fellow Clubhouse member, Treasures for Trigger. Now, tomorrow morning, do check out Largo's Lair. He's going to have me on as a guest talking about music. Nate will be back on the channel and where we'll do a deep dive on Sarge. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. And I'm also going to be shooting the shit with Gaz and Hans. We're going to be talking to the Cutthroat Comics. Going to do a deep dive on that. Yeah, you're welcome, buddy. Thanks for hanging out. And then after that, I'm going to be taking a look at, with Adam from Go Figure, we'll be doing back at the Is That Any of Your Toy Biz show. But I love this. I love this fast look at Joes. We've got so many Joes to get through, and it's good to have to just get in there. Get in there, get the details, and get out again as fast as we can. Hard and fast, like my Aussie brothers. Cool show, guys. Thanks, everyone. And with that, we'll leave you with our exit. Did you want to talk after? Are we hanging out? Let's hang out. All righty. Let's get out of here. Thanks for hanging, buddy. I'll see you on the next one. Yo, Joe, full force.
Hey man, no strangers here. These times I hold them dear. Doors open, so come on in. Yeah, that was great. Let's do it again. Do you wanna come over? Just like the old times, we could pause and then hit rewind. You wanna come over? Just like the old days, and we'll watch the time just fly. Do you wanna come over? Just like the old times, we could pause and then hit rewind. You wanna come over? Just like the old days, and we'll watch the time just fly.
Because knowing is half the battle.
Space Commando.